Have you ever wondered what truly happens after we die? The Bardo Thodol, better known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, offers a detailed and profound answer to this question. Attributed to the Buddhist master Padmasambhava, this ancient text is a mystical guide that describes the soul's journey through various stages after death, revealing how we can reach final liberation instead of returning to the endless cycle of rebirths. This mysterious and fascinating book teaches us how the mind can recognize its true essence at each stage of the afterlife, ultimately finding enlightenment. In this video, we'll explore these stages, known as bardos, and discover how, through meditation practice and mastery over illusions, we can prepare our consciousness to face this transition and reach a state of eternal peace and freedom. Before we dive into this transformative knowledge, I kindly ask for your support. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this powerful message. Every action you take helps spread self-knowledge and awareness, promoting a journey of inner growth and connection. The Bardo Thodol, also known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, is one of the most enigmatic and revered texts in Tibetan spiritual tradition. Attributed to the legendary Buddhist master Padmasambhava, the book is seen as a guide for the soul during the period after death, offering detailed instructions on how to face the challenges and illusions that arise along the journey. The goal of the Bardo Thodol is simple yet profound: to help the deceased achieve liberation and avoid the continuous cycle of rebirths. In Tibetan culture, death is viewed as an opportunity for the soul to transcend the wheel of samsara, or the cycle of rebirths, and the Bardo Thodol was created precisely to guide the mind through this process. Its name, Bardo Thodol, can be translated as liberation through hearing, as the text was traditionally read aloud to the deceased during the first days after death to guide the consciousness toward encountering light and peace. The Bardo Thodol is divided into stages known as bardos, representing phases that the soul passes through after death. It is believed that by hearing these instructions, the consciousness of the deceased can recognize each bardo and respond in ways that favor liberation. The first stage, or Chikai Bardo, occurs at the exact moment of death, when the consciousness detaches from the physical body and experiences the clear light, a pure manifestation of the mind itself and an opportunity for immediate liberation. At this point, if the deceased can recognize the clear light as the true nature of their own consciousness, the soul can achieve enlightenment and freedom from the cycle of rebirths. However, few have the clarity and preparation to recognize the light in this moment. So the journey through the afterlife continues, taking consciousness to a second stage called Chonyid Bardo, where internal visions and projections manifest as peaceful and wrathful deities. The ultimate purpose of the Bardo Thodol goes beyond mere comfort. It aims to prepare the mind to face and transcend its own fears and attachments, which are reflected in the stages of the afterlife. In the third stage, known as Sidpa Bardo, the soul is directed toward a new cycle of life, driven by desires and karmic impulses. The Bardo Thodol thus serves as a spiritual instruction manual, guiding the deceased to recognize the illusions and attachments that arise in each bardo, promoting the possibility of final liberation. This teaching highlights the importance of preparing the mind and heart during life, as according to Tibetan tradition, the more conscious and prepared we are, the greater our ability to recognize the true essence of the mind and achieve enlightenment, thus escaping the endless cycle of rebirths. The first stage described in the Bardo Thodol is the Chikai Bardo, occurring at the exact moment of death. In this initial stage, the person's consciousness is freed from the physical body and encounters the clear light, a pure, radiant manifestation of the true nature of the mind. This encounter with the light is a crucial moment and for some represents a unique opportunity for liberation. It is believed that if the deceased's consciousness can recognize this clear light as its own essence, enlightenment can be attained immediately, avoiding the cycle of rebirths. The clear light is not something external, but rather the pure, original nature of the mind itself, free of fears, desires, or illusions. However, this recognition is challenging as, for many, the detachment from the body and encounter with this light are intense experiences and can generate fear, making it difficult to perceive one's true essence. The difficulty in recognizing the clear light at the moment of death is largely due to deeply rooted attachments and mental patterns developed throughout life. These habits create a natural resistance to the pure light, causing the consciousness to retreat to more familiar and comfortable levels of perception. This retreat is what, in most cases, prevents immediate liberation and leads the consciousness into other stages of the bardo. This is where spiritual preparation during life becomes essential. According to the Bardo Thodol, practices of meditation and reflection on impermanence can help an individual prepare for this moment, reducing fear and attachment while increasing the mental clarity necessary to recognize the clear light. Those who train their minds to remain calm and focused in the presence of the light have a greater chance of perceiving their true essence, opening the door to enlightenment. If the deceased cannot recognize the clear light as the true nature of their mind, the Chikai Bardo ends, and consciousness is led to the next stage, known as the Chonyid Bardo. This next level is marked by visions and experiences that reflect the individual's inner fears and desires, offering yet another opportunity for liberation, albeit under different circumstances. However, the Chikai Bardo remains one of the most direct moments for liberation, as the clarity of the pure light represents the mind in its most authentic state, a point where the separation between the self and essence disappears. With the proper practice during life, individuals can cultivate the ability to see this light without the influence of fear or confusion, preparing for the moment when the Chikai Bardo appears, offering the chance for peace and ultimate liberation. The second stage of the Bardo Thodol is the Chonyid Bardo, where the consciousness of the deceased begins to experience visions reflecting the content of their own mind. In this state, peaceful and wrathful deities appear, which are not external entities, but rather projections of the person's deeply rooted emotions, desires, and fears. The Chonyid Bardo is a more challenging stage because the mind is confronted with manifestations that test its ability to remain calm and aware. The primary task here is to recognize these apparitions as part of oneself, avoiding the fear or attachment that might pull consciousness away from liberation. These visions represent, in essence, the accumulated karma from life and offer a new opportunity for the deceased to transcend these impulses and reach peace. The peaceful deities appear first, symbolizing positive qualities and harmonious aspects of the mind, such as compassion, love, and wisdom. However, if the deceased cannot recognize these visions as projections of their own mind, they may cling to them, believing them to be separate entities. This attachment causes the consciousness to lose the chance for liberation, and the process of the Chonyid Bardo advances, bringing forth the wrathful deities. These terrifying apparitions represent the darker, repressed aspects of the mind, such as anger, guilt, and fear. Often the wrathful deities are intensely frightening, but according to the Bardo Thodol, facing them with understanding and recognition is essential to overcome illusions and move towards liberation. This stage is crucial as the deceased is immersed in visions that may be both alluring and terrifying, challenging their ability to maintain calm and discernment. Those who fail to recognize these visions as projections of their mind become trapped in a cycle of fear and attachment, which distances them from liberation and propels them toward the next bardo. At this moment, karma plays an important role as lived experiences, actions, and thoughts shape the apparitions the deceased encounters. The Chonyid Bardo is, therefore, a test of the ego's transcendence and the integration of the mind's positive and negative aspects. Those who can recognize the deities, both peaceful and wrathful, as creations of their own consciousness have the chance to achieve a deeper level of understanding and, potentially, liberation. For most, however, the challenge is intense, and the Chonyid Bardo concludes, leading consciousness to the Sidpa Bardo, the final stage, where the drive for rebirth is tested. The Sidpa Bardo, the third and final stage described in the Bardo Thodol, is where the soul is led through the process of rebirth. In this stage, the consciousness, still bound by karmic desires and impulses, begins to seek a new body to inhabit, restarting the cycle of life and death. The Sidpa Bardo is described as a phase dominated by deep, unconscious drives that guide the soul toward a new rebirth, as total liberation was not achieved in the previous stages. Here, the karma accumulated over past lives exerts a powerful influence, shaping the type of life and circumstances the soul will experience in the next incarnation. This final stage is crucial, as it represents the point where the soul becomes driven by desires and attachments, leading it toward a new body. During the Sidpa Bardo, the deceased undergoes a series of experiences symbolizing the desire to return to physical life. Visions of potential families, birth environments, and other images associated with reincarnation start to appear, and the soul, moved by karmic desires, is drawn to these scenes. This process unfolds almost irresistibly, as attachment and desire still hold significant sway over the consciousness, creating an inevitable pull toward rebirth. However, even in this final stage, there is a last chance to avoid the cycle of reincarnations and achieve liberation. By recognizing the images and impulses as illusions and recalling the essence of pure mind, the soul can free itself from the cycle, dissolving the desires and attachments that bind it to the material world. The influence of karma in the Sidpa Bardo is profound and decisive. Every thought, action, and intention accumulated throughout previous existences manifests in this stage, shaping the soul's next life. Those who cultivated kindness, compassion, and wisdom tend to attract favorable circumstances, while those dominated by negativity and deep attachments may find themselves in challenging conditions. This last phase reinforces the importance of spiritual preparation during life, as a trained and conscious mind has a greater chance of recognizing the illusions of the Sidpa Bardo and breaking free from the cycle of rebirth. For most, however, the Sidpa Bardo signifies the restart of the wheel of samsara, guiding the soul into a new life and the continuation of spiritual learning and growth. In this video, we explored the mystery of the Bardo Thodol, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which reveals the stages the soul traverses after death. From the moment of encountering the clear light in the Chikai Bardo, through the deity visions in the Chonyid Bardo, to the pull toward rebirth in the Sidpa Bardo, each stage offers an opportunity to achieve liberation. Spiritual preparation during life, with practices of meditation and self-awareness, becomes essential for facing these stages with consciousness, thus escaping the cycle of rebirth. If this content sparked your curiosity and desire to learn more about what lies beyond life, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share this message. And if you enjoyed this content, the video appearing on the screen now will surely provide even more insights into your spiritual journey and the mystery of life and death.